Okay, this week's episode of Legend of Korra Ultimatum. When I first saw it, I was just like so surprised. I was in shock. I was an awe, like jaw-dropping episode. But then as I started thinking about it, I finished the episode, and I just waited and waited, started to think about everything that happened, and a bit of a concern came up with me. First off, the very little comedy that was in this episode was fantastic, and I like it how it came from the previous episode, because everyone's still looting and rioting in the streets, everything's on fire, and then people are just trying to break into the palace, and it's just like, don't get in our way, soldier, and the soldier's just like, get in your way, I want to join you, I know where all the good shit is. It's just like, that was hilarious, that even the guards who worked with the queen, they knew how bad she was. And it's like, hey, come on, people, I'll help you find all the good stuff. And then Bolin trying to fly the blimp, and then crashing it is just, okay. The comedy just right off the door, fantastic. I loved it. It made me laugh. And then everyone meet up with Korra and then Lord Zuko, and then this is where the problem comes up with me. A really big problem, in fact. Because Mako and Bolin are trying to rush over to Korra and trying to tell her the message that Zahir left with them. The message, of course, being hidden from us until we meet with Korra. But the message is, Korra, turn yourself in, or we will kill the Airbenders. Now, at first, I'm thinking like, okay, Zahir's really gone downhill. I mean, I get it. He wants to get Korra to come to him. But there are other ways of him doing this without losing his integrity as a villain. As a villain, I felt like he, sure, his methods to obtaining this messed up goal is questionable at best. But it's still, he has some sort of care about the world and how it should work. But by doing this, it just feels like more, it's his own selfish desire, and he's willing to kill people to protect people from oppression. And I don't know, I just felt like they were trying to up the ante, so to speak, to from what it was already, and just put pressure on Korra to find these guys and take them down. Now, the big problem for me with this is Mako and Bolin already knew about this. They heard the message so early. And I'm guessing Zahir immediately, as soon as he gave them that message, immediately left to the Northern Air Temple to go get the Airbenders. Now, Mako and Bolin, you could have found a radio in Ba Sing Se, one that still worked, and immediately contacted Tenzin and say, hey, get out of there, Zahir plans to kill you all. And then gone to Korra to tell her, hey, the Airbenders are in trouble. Or at least, I told them, to get out of there. They're probably out of there by now. Let's go there and meet up, and ambush Zahir when he gets there. And that would have been fine. But no, it's just, let's go find Korra, tell her the message, then we'll head to the Metal Clan City to tell Sue, for some reason, that her daughter's in danger, instead of us actually going to the Northern Air Temple. It's just like, can't we just rush over to the Northern Air Temple already? We may be a bit too late to get there before them, but we can still get there to help the Airbenders. But then we wouldn't have a scene of Korra questioning what she should do. Should she turn herself in and save all the Airbenders that way, or sacrifice the Airbenders so she can continue being the Avatar and protecting the entire world? And then even the scene with Iroh. Well, I love Iroh, don't get me wrong. Iroh, anytime Iroh's in anything, I just, thank God he's here. What are your great words of wisdom? But his words of wisdom this time were, hey, remember, Lord Zuko was friends with Avatar Aang. You can talk to him. It's like, okay, thank you. Korra couldn't figure that out for herself. It's like, I wish I could talk to one of the previous avatars, but the only people I know that can help me are the people who knew the previous avatar. I couldn't think of that. It's like, I'm glad that Iroh came back. I really am. I love the guy. And it was one of the parts that made this episode fantastic for me. But I feel like you could have just come to that conclusion by yourself. Zuko knew Aang, so you can ask Zuko, what would Aang do? And Zuko's scene was, he was just saying the same things, like, well, what are you going to do? You know, you sacrifice yourself, save the airbenders. You know, Aang would have done anything to bring back the airbenders, and now that's happening, he'd probably do anything to save them. But at the same time, he has to remember he's the Avatar, and that's something, again, I felt like was already clear. Or at least could have been made clear by, like, hey, you know, screw, you know, trying to call them, let's just head over there now. Again, or Mako and Bolin could have called them before going on their search for Korra. But again, I sound like I'm complaining a lot, and probably I am. But it's only because some of these things don't make sense. It just feels like the writers of this show are just giving us fan service, like giving us opportunities to see more of Lord Zuko, more of Iroh, and more threatening is Zahir. And Zahir is threatening in this episode. I mean, my God, when they get to the airbenders, start attacking them, and but then again, they're giving us so much, like, oh my God, Kai is falling, he's gonna die. Like, no, he's not gonna die. Like, oh my God, Boomy and you know, I'm forgetting her name. Kira? Katara? No. The ant's name. I'm seriously forgetting her name. They don't appear that often. You know, but they're like, oh no, they're gonna fall and die. Like, no, they're not gonna die. But then when it gets to Tenzin scene, where it makes me feel like, oh my God, he's gonna die, I'm inclined to believe it, because it was just brutal, and it was just, oh my God. Even the camera started moving to behind the wall, almost as if the cameraman was like, oh God, like, oh God, this is horrible, this is bad. I'm just gonna walk behind here. You know, I can still hear them beating on him, but it's like, no, I can't look at this. It's just like, oh my God, no, Tenzin. Stop pulling my heartstrings. And, you know, moving the camera behind the wall is a bad sign, because it just insinuates that they don't want to show someone getting killed on screen. So if Tenzin ends up dead next episode, that will be beyond ballsy. That will be beyond just taking a risk. That'll just be like the writers going up to this dark chasm with nothing but fog at the bottom. You can't even see a bottom. You just see fog and darkness. It's like, huh, I wonder if there's a lake down there. Let's test it out. Whee! Just jumping right in. It's just like, you don't know how this is gonna end. You don't know if this is gonna get you killed and destroy your show. People are like, oh my God, you killed Tenzin, I hate you. But all in all, it is still a big risk, and whether it works out or not is debatable. We'll have to wait until the next episode, or maybe even the last episode. Yeah, there's totally 2 episodes left. I mean, what left is there? I mean, holy. I mean, I guess here can be like, we're done with the airbenders, like, so let's go and to Republic City, and maybe there we'll hold an execution. And then that's where I realized it's going backwards. You know, they went to Ba Sing Se, then they went back to Metal City, then they go Airbender Temple. Now maybe it might end in Republic City. It's just going backwards from their journey. But yeah, it just feels like, while it's suspenseful, are they just giving us fan service, like more and more, you know, like moments, and just like no real substance to their story or dialogue? It just one thing after another, you know, that creates suspense and just drama, and just makes us feel like, oh my God, this is amazing, it can't get any better. Like, more action, more threat, more suspense, like, oh, more heavy, you know, heartstring pulling. And again, like, I won't know until next episode or the episode after. But for now, it just feels like they're just trying to cram in so much, you know, to just kind of appease us fans who were disappointed in second season by giving us more fan service kind of thing. But either way, like I said, I'm not complaining about the episode to the point where like I hate it. No, I really did love it. I love the suspense. I love the threat that Zahir poses to the Airbenders. Although I will say, like, it just destroys his integrity as a villain. Like, he has some morals. He's not gonna go out and kill, you know, millions of people. No, he's just gonna kill the leaders of the world. Tenzin and the Air Nomads are not leaders of the world. They're not a government. They're just people, you know, living at peace. So I felt like that action kind of destroyed his integrity. Like, the writers felt like, okay, Zahir's too likable or too agreeable as a villain. We have to get Korra to be in the right again. So let's make Zahir do something so horrible, like attack a fan favorite like Tenzin. So people will be like, nope, you know, Zahir, you went too far. Korra is going to be in the right the entire time from here on out. And maybe that's not true. Maybe that's just me and that my little paranoia about where this season is going. And even if this season is going to go into a 4th season, although I don't feel that way, because by attacking Tenzin, you pretty much guarantee that Zahir needs to go down now. He doesn't feel like, no, we can't let him get away for a whole another season. No, he needs to go down now. So I really don't know where this is going to end and how it's going to all come together and whether or not it was good or bad. So far, it was great, but then it also brings up the concern, are they just giving us too much? But either way, for what it is, it's a good episode. I loved it. You know, I was sitting there, complete suspense, in total awe about what's going to happen next. And I really can't wait to see what's going to happen next. So until then, I'm Tony Dragon. Bye-bye.